Okay, so for those who already have been sitting in bad positions and are getting a bit of low back pain, what we're going to try and do is do a bit of core strengthening to try and take a bit of pressure off that lower back. So what I'm going to run through quickly is what's called a dead bug. So James is going to need my model here. So James, how this starts is you're going to go into position like a dead bug would. So arms up and legs up. Now, straight away here, you're already starting to have to engage your core muscles, getting turned on through there. What we want to do from there is start adding a little bit of difficulty. And now, there's a few different steps to this. Start off easy and gradually work your way up as you start to get strong with each step. So the first step we're going to do is just taking one arm back at a time. So arm goes back, maintaining a strong core as you do it. Then you do the same with the opposite arm. Now, when you start to feel like you can do that pretty well, you're not wobbling around through your core, you start using your legs. So one leg down at a time, holding that core nice and level, nice and straight, leg back up, and same on the other side. Really making sure there's nice, slow, controlled movements. Now, when you're feeling really good and strong with that, to make it a bit more difficult, you take the opposite arm and the opposite leg down at the same time. Notice here, James's left leg goes down as his right arm goes down, and they come up together, and then on the opposite side, and they come up. Now, it does take time to move up to that sort of level. Take your time to work through, get a good solid base. But doing that a couple of times a day can be really good to help strengthen that core and take some pressure off your lower back. So one of the other thing a lot of people will notice is when they're sitting too much, they're going to get a bit of restriction and tightness through their mid-back, so that in between that shoulder blades. So we want to try and do some stuff to free that up ourselves. Obviously it's not going to be the same an adjustment, but it's stuff you can do yourself at home. So really simple thing to do is, if you've got a piece of dowel at home, that's great. Otherwise a broomstick will do a really good job. Just placing across the top of your shoulders, and essentially what you're going to do is you just want to rotate around until you just get to the little start point there, and then just bending down to the side and extending a little bit. And then come back up, do the same around to the other side. And what you can do with this is you can play around with different levels. So depending on how far you rotate around, you're going to be targeting different areas. And so with this, don't force it, because if you try and force it, you're going to cause things to go to bad positions. You just want to make it nice and easy, just stay within your limits. It just helps to free up that area through the back. So the thoracic area is made for a fair bit of mobility, and so we just want to help to keep it moving, keep it functioning. So another way of trying to get a bit more mobility into that thoracic spine is to do a bit of rotation. So a really simple one, don't need any equipment. What we do is get down into a bit of a lunge position here, and with your opposite hand, so one foot grabs the foot, whilst your other hand rotates up as high as you can. You're not aiming to hear any pops or clicks with this, just getting a nice big deep stretching through there, holding it for a couple of seconds, then coming back down and opening up with the other arm away to the side there. So you want to do this each hand a couple of times, and then we've done that, switch your legs, and we do the exact same thing the other way around. So this is, you're getting a bit of a hip stretch flex with this as well. But it's just a really good way to just keep your body flexible, keep it moving, keeping active. So that's one thing we really want to focus on, guys, is work from home, got to really make sure you bring activity into your day, because it's not going to be a normal office setup where you can make them a normal part of your day. Make sure you're doing simple things that are going to keep you moving, keep you active. Now, what a lot of other people notice is when you're sitting too much, one of the areas of your body becomes really underactive is your glutes. And your glutes are a really essential body for muscle for when your body's moving around, and you want to make sure that these are activating. And particularly when you're finding your lower back's getting a bit sore, making sure you're activating your glutes is a really good way to take some pressure off that. So one of my favourite ways to get the glute activation going is what's called a glute bridge. So glute bridge, what you're aiming to do here is to be lifting your hips up off the ground, but just using your glutes. So you don't want to be dominating with your hamstrings or dominating with your quads. You want to be focusing on using those glutes. So if you go back down, if you find that you're just feeling the stretch and tightness through your hamstrings, they're doing too much work. So one of the easy ways to fix this is if you bring your heels a bit closer to your bum and then push up again, what you'll find is you should get a bit more focus into those glutes, so really activating that area. Now, if you notice a bit of asymmetry in terms of you notice that one side of your lower back feels a bit more niggly than the other, it means that the glute on that side isn't activating as well. So what you can start to bring in is a few single leg glute bridges. So with the single leg glute bridge, you raise one leg off the ground, and you go push, exact same thing, pushing up through your glutes, and going back down and up again, and just making sure those glutes are activating and firing and doing their job. So give that one a go. It's a nice, easy one to do. Nice, relaxing to lay on the ground and get it done, but really effective. So one of the other areas you want to try and loosen up is putting our pecs as well, because a lot of us sitting in that forward position, you're going to get a bit tighter through the front. So try and loosen that up. One of the stretches a lot of people go to is this typical thing where you go to a door frame or against the wall and just push through. Now, bit of an issue with this is typically what happens when you're doing this is you put a lot of force into the actual shoulder joint, which long term can cause a bit of damage. So what we're going to do is a similar sort of stretch, but a little bit different. So find yourself a corner you can go into and bring your arms up and then just slowly relax into it. So you feel a bit of a stretch in through the pecs, and you can play over the angles here. So if you take your arms a bit higher or lower down the wall, you'll find you'll be stretching out different parts through that front of the chest there. It's a really good way to just loosen up through the chest and make sure you're not doing damage to that shoulder joint. So if you're finding it, you get a few restrictions through that mid back as well, there's a few little things you can do to just try and hopefully free up some of the stuff and maybe even get a few little corrections yourself. What you want to do is get yourself a towel. It's a nice simple towel, and just roll it in a little bit, not the whole way. Roll it the whole way, you're going to create too big a lever. You would have seen heard James and I talk about not using a foam roll on your back. The reason is it creates a lever which can really push stuff forwards, which is what we want to avoid, but just creating a little bit of leverage. And what you want to do with this is just start sort of, round between your shoulder blades and just laying back on it. You can give yourself a bit of a hug. You can move your legs around a bit and you'll find you just get a bit of shifting. You're not aiming for pops and clicks here, you're just aiming for just getting a bit of loosening up. You might get a few pops, but that's not the aim. And just play around with the angles and just, as you go, slowly move up. Now, when you're moving up, one of the things to be aware of is don't slide, because often if you're sliding, you'll start rolling the towel up and creating a bit of leverage. So every few movements, just lift your body up so you can shift onto that next bit where that actually creating a bit of leverage. If you do this, so spend a couple minutes down there, probably 2 to 3 minutes, generally will be enough to sort of give yourself a good sort of loosen up. What you'll find is when you stand back up, things will start to just feel a little bit looser, a little bit freer, notice our breath feeling a little bit clearer. It's not going to be the same as going through a full adjustment, but you get a few small wins, keeps your body moving, make sure you're not going backwards.